Hey guys, it is me, Scuzzy, and welcome to another video. This one is going to be part of a new series. Well, sort of not new, because I already made an episode a couple years back for it. But I'm going to redo it and call this one episode 1. It's going to be called Runescape Rambles, which is basically me just talking about stuff on Runescape or about other stuff. If you guys don't mind that, you can let me know. This one's going to be strictly RuneScape. And then I'm also going to put on the webcam, as you can see. I don't know where it's going to be in the video, but you can see my face and my microphone. This is the microphone that I use, and it's on a boom arm all the way to the left of me. Now, I'm just doing a little bit of agility in the background, so if you guys want to watch something, it'll just be doing agility in the background. But, so I wanted to talk about maybe some of the updates that they're thinking of bringing in 2017 and some of my thoughts on them. So I'm just going to look at the wiki for the upcoming updates and give my thoughts on what's going to happen. So they're going to bring 120 Slayer into the game. And the reason they're going to be doing that is because they're bringing a place that's been in RuneScape for years, and you've never been able to access it. It's a city called Menifos, and it's in the desert. It's like the most southern city in the game, and we've never been able to access it. There's been that bridge there, but you can't go across it. So they're bringing a Menifos Slayer dungeon. Here, I'll just read it. With the release of the Menifos Slayer dungeon, the Slayer skill cap will be increased to 120. Players' virtual level Slayer levels will be converted directly into actual levels. New content will be added, such as the player being able to become their own Slayer master and create their own Slayer assignments, which is very interesting. It is going to be part of the completionist cape requirement, but players will be given until the release of the second in-game area expansion in September of 2017 to obtain the requirement. So we pretty much have, 10 months now? Because today is November 1st. We have 10 months. Whoever has a completionist cape and wants to keep it, they have 10 months to go and get their Slayer up to level 120. I mean, honestly, Slayer doesn't take that long. I would wait until the update before I go from 99 to 120 so I could actually try out the content. Otherwise, it's just going to be dead content for most people. They just want their stupid capes back. You know what I'm saying? But, the whole reason they bring out these updates is to have more variety in the game. They don't really care if you have a completionist cape or not. Back in the day, completionist capes were sort of rare. Now they're not that hard to get, because even though there's more and more requirements, it's easier. It's easier to get the XP than it was back then, so it's easier in that respect. And then I don't know, everything is just AFK now. I remember when it was actually a bannable offense to be away from your computer and logged in. And that's why they had a 30-second timer or 60-second timer, and it would log you completely out. There was no lobby or anything like that. And then they added the lobby to make it so people who like to AFK could still talk to their friends and AFK and stuff, but they wouldn't actually gain anything in the game. Now it's just I feel like they don't even care about their game. They're just like, hey, have that, have this, have that, as long as we have our money. That's going into a different topic, actually. But 120 Slayer is going to happen in 2017. My recommendation is to wait until the content comes. They said the Slayer dungeon is going to be added in June, so you'll have from June to September. So June, July, August, 3 months. You'll have 3 months to use this Slayer dungeon to get from 99 to 120. I guarantee you that you guys can do that. You have 3 months worth of time. So we have 5 months until... That doesn't make sense. 5 months No, 3 and 5 is 8. I'm talking 10. So 7 months. We have 7 months until this comes out. I would say lay back and chill. But the thing is, people don't play as hardcore as me. So, but also the thing is, you don't have to play hardcore anymore. You can AFK. You can use aggression potions. Like my mindset is to the point where, since I've been max for 2 years, and a lot of you probably think I'm elitist for saying stuff like this, but the game is easy. You can't prove me otherwise. It was easy when I was doing it, and it's even more easier now. So, anyways, that's Slayers. Slayer's gonna be there. My recommendation, again, said that like 4 times. Mining and Smithing rework is coming out. It says September 2016, but it was pushed back, and I'm not sure if that's gonna happen until 2017. But they're working on a couple of different things for it, and I hope that they just don't ruin the skill. But the thing is, like, I don't think it's so much RuneScape community as it is 2010 plus community. People who were born in 2000 have been raised by people in the generation who are living in the 2000s. And for whatever reason, we've become like the people who were born in the 80s or in the 90s. They're now parenting these young children who are 5, 6, 10, whatever, and they're growing up with technology that we didn't have before. We had technology, but not in the way that we have with electronics. We had technology for, building dams and aqueducts and stuff like that, and like things that kept the world moving, farming, buildings, stuff like that. But now we have this computer age coming into play, and the amount of respect and the amount of respect for oneself and the respect for other people just plummets, because now you can spend all your time doing technology. And yes, I realize that I'm talking into a technology, talking to you guys and stuff, but I try to put myself above that type of mentality where things like technology doesn't degrade my values. Basically, the values, not respect, what am I talking about, the values, the core values that people have, they're not there as much because they weren't taught, because either the parents were on the computer all the time and they didn't have the time for the children, or the parents didn't learn from their parents. There could have been a lot of factors, but the fact that it's weird too, because with the internet it's all accessible. Like, you could go onto college websites, and some college websites have all of their material there. You don't even have to go to their college. It's free to look at and to study and stuff, and you could do that if you have a computer. You can go do that and educate yourself and have better values or whatever, educate yourself and stuff. But just this world as a whole, I feel like I don't think I'm the only one who feels like this. I feel like it, but at the same point in time, you do look back in history and you see, similarities and stuff. They just didn't have the electronics and technologies. And I'm talking with my hands because I'm Italian. But the mindset that everything needs to be comfortable and everything needs to be easy is something that is crazy rampant in our day and age. The last 10 to 15 years. How can I make this easier? How can I make this more comfortable? And I am all for efficiency, but I'm not all for laziness. There's a fine line between, can I have a robot do everything for me and for efficiency's sake, or can I have a robot do everything for me so I don't have to do anything? There's a fine line that has to be drawn there. I mean, it doesn't technically have to be drawn, but that's what's going on. And I feel like a lot of the completionist players are around that age where it kind of creeped into their upbringing or whatever, somehow creeped up into their life, and they have this mentality that they need everything to be easy. So as soon as the completionist cape requirement comes out, they're like, oh, I got this, whatever. Those type of people, they're going to be like that, and they probably won't change. So this isn't for those type of people. This rework, I'm talking to people who actually care about content and variety in content, and not just what can I do to finish this off so I can just do nothing or whatever these people do. Wow, this is definitely ramble. Wasn't expecting this. Was not expecting this. That's funny. So there's going to be a mining and smithing rework. Let me just read this. A rework of mining and smithing was planned for September 2016. However, the rework was postponed to 2017 due to player feedback on the initially presented concepts. On August 4th, 2016, ModJack made a post on the Runescape official forums and on Reddit to begin discussions about re-evaluating what players wanted to see in the mining and smithing rework. From this, they hope to reuse the acceptable elements of pre-existing plans for the rework, as well as create new designs or take suggestions to fully meet with requirements for the rework. During the future RuneScape skilling talk at RuneFest 2016, Jagex revealed some of the considerations for planning new mining and smithing rework. There were coal no longer being needed as a secondary material for high-level smithing, but instead being a universal catalyst, speeding up the speed of smithing rather than being required to smith. Huh. Interesting. Now, that sort of makes sense, but it also should be part of it, because don't you use coal for its carbon aspects to, make... It should be at least used for steel. Because you use... Carbon for steel. Do you use the coal for the steel? I think so. Let me check real quick. Yeah, I wasn't tripping. FEC, yeah. Or FeCO2, FeCO3 for iron plus carbon. There's a small amount of carbon, but the carbon content of steel is between 0.002% and 2.1%. 2.1% by weight for plain iron carbon alloys, which is pretty much what steel is. They add things like manganese, chromium, nickel, iron, and tungsten to steel to get the different type. There's not like one specific type of steel. But anyways, so at least for the steel aspect of smithing. But the thing is, like, you think of smithing in the real world, you think of steel. You think steel, you think iron, you think aluminum, that sort of stuff. There's no aluminum in the game, but there is iron and there's steel. And what they could probably do is add these different things and have a combination or something to make different alloys and different types. I think with the invention skill, they did add a sense of flexibility to different items and stuff. I thought that was cool. You can have perks and stuff, but like making, like if they introduce that into the game where you can have specific items, personalized items, I think that would be a huge benefit for their game. I think because it could take them places. It could take them places they've never been before and take them to good places they've never been before. In that respect, you can make a new set of armor. And the thing is, like, they introduce a skill, right? Say 2002, whenever the smithing skill came into the game, they introduce a skill and they say, at level this, you can make it. At level that, you can make it. What about, at level this, you can start using this, using this material, and then you can experiment with it. You can mix it with invention. Even though invention is an elite skill, you can make another elite skill to use invention technology or You know what I'm saying? You can have like a super elite skill. They're going to have to do that eventually if they want this game to thrive. They're going to have to add even more elite skills. They're going to have to add super elite skills. And the thing is, it's not enough. And what they're going to have to do eventually is just take away the XP cap altogether, because you're going to have too many people with max XP. Nobody's going to want to go for ranks or anything. So when they said things like, oh, I'm going to bring into the prestige into the game, then that honestly, in my opinion, is a good idea. It would give... The thing is, though, you'll never be able to get rank 1 if someone's already really, really high up there. You'll never be able to get it. So what they should do is they should... I don't know. Maybe they should have some, like... See, the thing is, high scores aren't designed for lifetime. They're not. Maybe it could be like the Olympics or something. They could have different events going on every couple of years and have people train the skills. Not reset them to their... not reset their skills actually, but maybe reset them on the high scores and have them race again or something. I don't know. Maybe bring them all down to 99, but then people would not like that. Maybe you could have the option to do that. And then at the end of the event, you'll go back to your max XP or whatever you had. And you know what I'm saying? Or like if you had max XP but you didn't participate in the event, then maybe you would, after the event, it would put you back, at max XP, but you would be at the bottom of the max XP list. So the people who already had max XP will still be there and feel like they've achieved, the full game, but they don't necessarily care about the rank at that point, obviously, because they're not going for it again. And that would refresh the high scores. That's something that Jagex wants to do. They want to refresh the high scores because they want people to keep playing hardcore and, whatever. They want to make their money and stuff. So coal will no longer be needed as a secondary material for high-level smithing, but instead be a universal catalyst, speeding up the speed of smithing rather than being required to smith. I think that's interesting because you do... use coal to heat things up in the real world for the smithing, and it's not called smithing, it's called smelting, right? It's called smelting. The crystal pickaxe maintaining its status as being better than other pickaxes due to difficulty involved in getting it, and may be required to create higher level pickaxes. Crystallized, not offering the best mining training, but still worthwhile to obtain. Interesting. I like the idea for that. I like the idea that if you put more effort into the game, you should get rewarded more. Because the thing is, like, in the real world, if you put more effort into something and you keep at it and you keep at it and you keep at it, eventually it's going to pay off. It doesn't always pay off, but most of the time it will pay off if you keep at it and you as long as the variables surrounding the thing aren't like kind of skewed or whatever and like rigged and stuff against you. But for the most part, the more you put in work in the real world, the more you will see back as a standard. So why should that not be like that in the game? Because why shouldn't it be like that in the game? Work harder, get more reward. I feel like that's the way it should be. And then you have the other methods where people don't really care about actually putting in the effort as long as they get to their goal without doing doing the least amount of work as possible. And I understand that people are busy with their own lives and stuff, and but those kind of people, they shouldn't be playing competitively. So they shouldn't have the competitive rates that the competitive people compete with, if that makes sense. So you have the AFK methods. I think I've discussed this in the past though, but yeah, so I will leave a link to the wiki page on here, and I'm probably going to end it at 20 minutes, which is about 15 seconds. And if you do want to see more of this, I will talk about the rest of the upcoming updates in future episodes. But yeah, if you did enjoy, please let me know in the comments. Leave a like if you did like it, and I will see you next time. See ya.